In order to finish reading from Acts of the Apostles before Pentecost, the lectionary omits large chunks of interesting narrative, such as the journey of St. Paul from Miletus to Caesarea, malicious gossip against St. Paul, a near riot in the temple, Paul's arrest, and his release from government officials who discovered that he was a Roman citizen. It would help to review these texts in Acts for a fuller background on today's readings. The first reading from today is a narrative that resumes with Paul's being brought in before Jerusalem's Sanhedrin. They were essentially official bodies of leaders who Paul knew very well and knew how important they were at this moment. The Pharisees and Sadducees shared a fidelity to the faith of Israel and its covenant, but they differed on their attitudes towards the newer developments, such as the belief in angels, spirits, and the resurrection. After all, the Pharisees accepted the belief of the resurrection, while the Sadducees did not believe in eternal life. And so we hear Paul begin to defend his belief in the resurrection of the dead, based upon Jesus Christ and his promise to those who believe in him. As anticipated, quite an uproar breaks out. One Pharisee even suggests ironically that perhaps an angel has spoken to Paul. Paul had to be whisked away for his own safety. What is more on trial here is Paul or the gospel that he preaches. So what are we to make of all this? Well, sometimes it seems as if Paul is bringing trouble upon himself. He's being held by the Romans who have intervened after the Jews of Jerusalem sought to have Paul killed for what he preaches about his belief in Jesus Christ. Paul is brought into the Roman compound and questioned at the request of the elders, but it was quickly released once they revealed that he is a Roman citizen. Like Jesus, Paul is being ostracized for what he preaches. Once again, the leaders of the Jewish people seek to have this preacher put to death. The Pharisees, however, are not quite convinced because Paul speaks of angels and spirits and the hope of the resurrection, things that the Pharisees believe in. So what can we take of this? Well, it's a lonely place when those who have supported you in the past turn on you because of what you believe and what you say. We see this type of alienation in our own culture when the voices of righteousness and truth are often silenced by anger and jealousy. Sometimes we do not want to accept the words of a modern-day Paul that is in our own life. And so why is that? Because when they challenge us to do and believe is most more often than we are willing to do or give ourselves. And yet, who else is there to tell us the way to live, to guide us in the ways of God and of Jesus Christ? These are the people of the Spirit, our St. Pauls in our life. It's important for us to have a St. Paul in our life, or maybe a few St. Pauls, who will hold us accountable in living out our faith. People like that guide us in the spiritual life. They support us and they encourage us when we feel down, and at times challenge us when we become complacent in our own faith. Stay spiritually strong, everybody.